So, welcome to another weekly energy message. This is for the new moon coming up for June 2017, and I had originally filmed this, putting out all the different cards, and then my phone was dying because I hadn't checked it. So, I just want to I'll recap on what the cards mean, and I'll just give a bit of a quick brief look at what I picked for the new moon, and then we'll move into what the meanings are for the cards and what that means for the new moon, because it's a new moon in Cancer, which is often quite an emotional, sensitive sign, but it would be best if you were interested in astrology to go and find where Cancer is in your chart and see what relevance it is to you. That can be really important in knowing what's happening for you at that time. As you well know, if you're watching this, the moon and the moon phases are really important to how we function, and often we forget that we revolve around these beautiful spaces, and they are important to shifting us into where we need to be going. You think of how often we move, not just with the new moon and the full moon, but how often we move into even every couple of days we're moving into a different sign and a different space or a different planet, and it does matter. It makes a big difference on what's going to happen for us in that time. So if you have some spare time, have a look. There's a lot of freebies on the internet around astrological charts, and I know that the first three importance spaces for me, sun, moon, are in Cancer, so I'm very Cancer oriented. And it's good because it means that I know that a lot of my attributes are going to come from that space, and because sometimes other people might see us a different way, or we might be a little too much into something, we might be experiencing something else and we're going, oh, that's not really true to my sign. And it's because we have so many different elements of our signs. It's not just what your star sign is, it's all the elements of where it sits from when you were born. So if you have some time, sit down and do your astrological chart for free online and see what all the different signs that relate for you are. Because it can give you a bit more insight as to possibly, I'm a Cancer sign and I'm a very flowy, water element, spontaneous, creative person. But I lost a lot of that because I was getting really rigid and routine and really worried about, where things were going, and they had to be structured. And, there was just a little bit too much of that. And when I look back at why, it's because, I have other signs that are relevant to me. It's not just I was born on June 30th and that's my star sign. So very interesting to look into that. So this new moon is a one around communication, and it comes in close alignment to Mercury. And Mercury is the planet of ideas, communication, and transport. So it is located, so this new moon is located in the Gemini constellation, and is definitely a new moon for bright ideas and making plans. And I did read somewhere that it's really great for business. So if you run a business, it's really great for generating new ideas, and kind of that buying and selling space is really positive around this time. So it's a sociable phase, moon phase, and it's ideal for partnerships and new business ventures. And it's a good time to do it because, as you may know about Mercury retrograde, we came out of that about a month or so ago. So it's now saying, okay, you come out of retrograde, you're safe now to make these new business ventures and partnerships, which are not advised to do in Mercury retrograde. So the new moon is only 3 degrees from Mercury, and this brings a intense devotion, largeness of mind. The Gemini constellation brings this, and a fortunate sign. Sun, Moon and Mercury, and the Mercury makes this a new moon of ideas, communication, transport and trade. So puts a focus on thinking and communications. Can be a busy time mentally, so ground yourself around this time. Your mind is on the ball. It's a good time for clearing out. We're also in the southern hemisphere, the winter solstice, and the northern hemisphere summer solstice. So it can depend what it means for you, but I know for us it's a big cleanse. We're having a massive cleanse at the moment, and bringing in also the idea that we're in a 2017 year, which is a year one. It could be really important halfway through the year to go, okay, review and see where you're at, and if there's anything that you need to change. The next 6 months is going to be pretty full on, so this is the time to do it. We're in the solstice time. This is the time to ritualize that for you. So new moons are set for intent. So this is a positive, really positive intention moon to set for business, but also personal as well. You can make, you can bring fortune into your life personally, of course, as well. So this moon can also, it could be a sociable moon. It's saying that there may be some extra conversational plans that come out of this moon with different people and much more like aligned people in your life. It will create a great deal of emotional sensitivity and changeable moods. You can more likely make emotional attachments to other people or enjoy reminiscing about the past. And it's saying it will be emotionally nourishing for you. So emotionally sensitively, this can lead to strong intuition and psychic abilities. It can mean signaling the perfect time to make a partnership of different kind, personal or professional. So, very interesting. And the first 2 weeks of the new moon, from June 23rd to July 9th, is a good time to share ideas, discuss plans for the future. Business deals are favoured, and take advantage of this fortunate moon phase by writing and sending off applications, scheduling important meetings, making a budget and organising your paperwork. So lots of organising. All right, so now we're going to have a look at the cards. So first I had the Pearl card come through, and it was the strengthen your connection to the divine. So I'll just talk through the cards and what they mean. So this card is pretty straightforward, but it is relevant to, it's a different shade of white, and it's a calming shade, purifying and promoting faith. So it allows you to flow with life and connect to your divine nature. It's a colour of personal integrity, truth and loyalty, and it brings clarity, peace and harmony into your life. So strengthen your connection to the divine by visualizing a pearly white light. Please strengthen my connection to the divine. Allow me to feel connected to your love and light. Breathe in this light and feel its fullness pouring into your soul until you feel whole. Then climb down the ladder knowing that you are loved, connected and full of light. So the second one was the activate your healing power, the blue. So I've had this one before. Blue can assist you to activate your healing powers and increase vitality. It has a calming effect when people feel nervous, manic or overexcited. Blue contains antiseptic qualities which help you to heal burns, stop bleeding and relieve fevers. Blue can also help with soothing in irritations and increasing metabolism. So imagine a blue ray of light, relieving any fevers, relieving any skin issues, anything of the body that may need healing, sickness. Divine sword of light, heal and purify, regenerate this area. And it says to repeat the statement for 2 minutes until you feel better. So I know that I've had a massive cleansing phase the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I've been like on and off sick, sore throat, cough, but it hasn't gone any further. So I haven't actually got sick. I've just been teetering on the edge of it. So I've been using a lot of blue to get myself into a better space. And maybe that's why I haven't got to that point of really getting sick, because it is literally just a spiritual release. I see a lot of sickness as spiritual release, and they have spiritual grounds as to why we're physically experiencing that. So yeah, use blue if you want to give yourself some extra healing power. So brown is establishing boundaries. So when I was putting these cards out, I did get a brown colour was going to come through. I'd already chosen the Tiger's Eye today, and I knew that something was going to come through that was going to be around grounding. So brown is the colour of earthiness. It assists you to get in touch with nature, animal wisdom and universal wisdom. It helps with creating personal, healthy boundaries and attaining a balanced perspective. It assists you to connect to the healing properties of nature and revive your energy and creativity. So go outside, find a stick, draw a circle on the ground, stand inside the circle, breathe in some fresh air, and allow the brown rays of light to connect you to earth. Say, divine light, I choose to create new boundaries for myself and others. I choose to listen to my own guidance and follow it, respect myself, value myself, and love myself. And if you don't have a backyard to do that in, I was just thinking I don't actually have that. Literally go and put your hand on a tree, spend some time just with your feet on the ground, without shoes on, socks on. And you can definitely connect in that same way. And just, respect yourself. Say it out loud that you respect yourself and you allow yourself new fresh boundaries. And just think about, how you want to be treated by others and how you're treating others as well. So those cards came through. And then these gorgeous cards that I made, I'm aware, I'm healing, and I'm exploring came through. And with the Tiger's Eye, I had this come through with the mala beads. So these ones have been blessed and by the Dalai Lama, and I just felt a real connection. And I don't know whether there's something happening at the moment in Tibet or whether there's a connection there. They're definitely grounding when you wear them. So just a connection to jewelry. My labradorite came through as well, kind of popped in front of me, and I thought, I'll grab that one as well. It's a shaman grounding stone. And the vetiver scent came through, which is an interesting one because this is one that when I went to a place called Back to Basics in Williamstown in Melbourne, the beautiful store owner there said to me, I said, I don't know what to get, for running workshops. And she said, get this one because it's got a beautiful grounding scent, and everyone who smells it, they recognize it from, old ancient days. And it's like this old smell that brings you back to that stage. So I was like, and she said, it's always a familiar, beautiful scent. So I grabbed that one, and I grabbed that today too. So that was interesting. The soul cards today are, this one is a connection to the divine feminine. So standing your ground, getting back into the divine feminine, which is interesting because we've got our connection to the divine, and I'm aware. So becoming aware of that divine feminine, we are standing back up as an energy, as a collective energy. And this has come through the last few weeks as well. This is not an alone reading. This has been coming up a lot. So it's just that further connection to the beautiful divine feminine and balancing it with the masculine, because we have to have a balance with it. And this is our connection to healing. So the ancient connection. And this is like, a shaman connection I can feel, and listening. So clairaudience. So listening for connection, listening for information that might come through. Sometimes I don't know if everyone gets this, but I get whispers and things said. and I hear them, and that's what this is saying. Connect to that for your own healing and knowledge and wisdom. And this is definitely almost, yeah, it comes with, you know, establishing boundaries, because this one is, you know, almost coming out from that veil, coming out from who you truly are. And that's around establishing boundaries. We have to truly be who we are to be able to connect in that way, and know that it's time to put those boundaries in. So the awareness card from the Psychic Tarot deck, this card is the number 1 card, and it represents, it's a key reminder that you already possess all the tools to guide and direct you in your life, whether it's wisdom, intuition, psychic skill, creativity, self-motivation, love, willpower, physical ability, or just courage. They are all up to you, and once you tap into them, then you have the ability to allow the universe to work in partnership with you, and you can manifest change, whatever the desire may be, and bring about a positive outcome. So your ability to create your own reality. Accelerated motion. I'll just find that one. Okay, so accelerated motion represents speed, flight, swift movement, hope, passion, and above all, endings to delays. The conditions around you are perfect and appear to be rapidly heading in the direction of your goals and desires. Luck is on your side and your enthusiasm is at an all-time high. So brace yourself for finally witnessing the manifestation of what you've worked for. And that's happening for a lot of people, because energy is changing so much at the moment that we're really seeing completion cycles of what we've manifested into our life. And it's calling for you to call your initiative and ask yourself, is there anything else in my life that I need to act on now? So you might be writing a list or doing a painting, or put something creatively together of what you would like to go forth with and act on. Foundation and achievements. Let's just find that one. This card confirms that what you've been doing is building a firmly established and strong, solid foundation. You deserve this. It's time for you to harvest the rewards for your efforts. Allow the universe to work in an exchange of giving and receiving in order to prime the pump of gratitude and reinforce the law of attraction. So this is a period of celebration, peace, and prosperity. So celebrate. And this has been coming through with other clients' cards as well, is celebrate your wins. Celebrate your small wins. Be proud of where you are, where you've come so far. You know what your soul purpose is, and if you don't, then, you know, it's time to dig deep and find that. But you know what works for you, and you know where you're at. And it is time to sit there and just celebrate what you've already been made possible for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to do the Rider-Waite cards first. So Three of Pentacles is represents completion of a goal or plan, and it's around the fulfillment and manifestation of creative venture, business or building project. The inspiration of the individual is beginning to be concreted into the material world. So you've had all these ideas and they've come into a more real space, and then there's that completion space of that. So it's saying, yep, you know, there's these great ideas and that you've made the decisions and you've got the skills necessary to accomplish your goals. So this is an encouragement. It's saying keep working towards your fulfillment. And this King of Pentacles has been coming up so much lately for clients as well in their readings. It represents abundance, security, ambition, power, stability, discipline, trustworthiness, control. So it's around final fulfillment of creative tasks and investments, business opportunities. There's something in your life that you've had a well thought out approach and planned, and it has led you to success or will lead you to success. So it's saying stay informed on practical matters, get down to basics, use problem solving, and everything will be really positive. It's also saying enjoy life, and don't get too wrapped up on what's going on in your life. Okay, so the King of Cups is emotion, creativity, unconscious, And this is card of a mastering own feelings, remaining in control of emotions. So interestingly, this comes through around Cancer. So I would suggest, the grounding tools that we talked about, if you're feeling that your emotions are getting a bit over and around, which I know that all too well. Grab a tree, get yourself into nature somehow and really breathe into that nature. Just to ground yourself, because emotions are important, but you want to be a master of your emotions. You want to be able to balance it to an extent. And it's important to also be creative around that time. So singing, dancing, painting, drawing, anything that's creative is really important to keep in contact with, to pour your emotions out. Keep in control of that as much as you can, because it's not about control in the end. It's about balance. I meant to say balance. This card encourages you to understand that you need to create a balance in that realm of emotion. So how can you develop a stronger awareness of the unconscious without being overwhelmed by its power? So connecting to your unconscious space. And how can you develop a sense of compassion without falling into the trap of sentimentality? And I remember someone saying to me really recently that there's a difference between empathy and compassion. And when you're working with someone as a client, or even just day-to-day life, it's important to be compassionate and just send compassion out, send love out, and not get caught up in empathy. Because when we get caught up in empathy, we take their story on and we allow, sometimes we allow that story. So it's about saying, okay, I'm just going to pull back and be only completely connective to compassion and sending love and being love and then taking love back. And that's the importance of where we're going with our giving and receiving that I was talking about before. So we're going to the Page of Cups now, and we've had this card the last couple times, I think, and this is signifying the beginning of a creative project or venture. And it's saying that there is creative energy that's bursting forth into your consciousness. Explore this newfound creativity through any means that you can: art, drama, dance, song, painting, drawing. Could be cutting out magazines and sticking them on paper. Your unconscious mind is trying to speak to you, possibly through your dreams or through synchronistic encounters with significant people. The message is to be taken that you must be open to the unexpected. It heralds a positive message or news from loved ones, and it was also saying that there may be a milestone happening in your life, so that could be really positive. So yeah, and then I felt like I needed to just show this, because I had a conversation with my friend recently, and we talked about affirmations, and I found this while I was packing my house up, and it just says, I'm exactly where I need to be. I may seem lost, but in my true self-adventure, I find myself. I'm exactly where I need to be. And that's kind of my mantra that I stick by, because I think everybody has such an individual path. We all have a different soul purpose. We can't tell anybody what to do, and it's really important to know that, even in those darkest moments, they're there so that we can build our foundation to work back on. Because a lot of us have been through a lot of stuff this last 10 years especially, and even back forth to, our childhoods, even further and further and further, depending what generation you are. And it is really important to understand our ancestral trauma, our intergenerational trauma, and to be able to